everyone. Good evening or good night, wherever you want. Welcome to Out of the Box Developer Podcast. Tonight, we will be talking about user communities, how to build and nurture them. And before bringing the main guest for our session online on stage, let me say hello to my friends here first. So Pedro, how are you doing?
Hello, Chila. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone who's listening to us today. Wow, this is a very important topic because we know that this is one of the most important thing when we want to grow and want to grow our as an engineer or as a developer or as in our careers as developers, and we know participating in these communities or growing or building these communities is very, very important. So yeah, and we will have a very important guest today.
Okay. And Igor, how are you doing?
Hi, Tila. Hi, Pedro. Hi, Thiago. Hi, everyone. Yeah, everyone that is watching us as well. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just feeling better here. We had a very dry weather these days, but today's subject is very interesting, like Pedro just mentioned. It's just about communities. It's when you realize that you should not be that developer in the cave, just hidden behind a computer programming and learning stuff and seeing the tech world as a lonely and sad world. It's where you meet the other people is also creating technology, is also building technology. And we have a very special host here, a very special guest here. Of course, Sila, you're also a very special host for us today. But we'll have a very special guest today here that she's an expert on building communities. And it will be very interesting to learn from her and from her experience. So looking forward for that.
Yes, indeed. And I would like to say hello to Thiago as well.
Hello everyone. Today we will have people all around the world, right? Peru it's in Canada, Chile it's in Europe. So please, you are that are watching us, please put on the chat where are you from, where you're talking. And I do agree. Today we have an amazing guest. Has been a while since I met her. I met her a year ago in Lisbon Jug, and our guest today it's a very smart people, polite and very connected with community. So I'm very excited to talk and hear about it. So
Mhm.
very excited.
So, yes, let's bring her on stage. So, welcome, Mary.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, Scylla. Thank you for
Hi.
inviting me, and Pedro, Tiago, and Igor. Thank you, and Louis too in the background. So anybody who's
Yes.
helping out, thank you for having me today.
So thank you for accepting our invitation, and we are very happy to have you here today. So we met a couple of weeks ago at J-Crate, where you were proposing a session about user community building and nurturing.
Yeah.
And I participated in your session, and that made me think about the importance of communities. So that's why I think it's a very good topic for today, and I'm sure you can share your experience, a lot of experience with us, because you are not only you are a Java champion, but you are president of the Chicago JAG, and as far as I know, you are also you are you have some in AI initiatives where you are the lead, right?
That is correct. Yes, yeah. Well, if it's time to talk about, I can tell you more about the AI collective too. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. But before we start, maybe we already have some people in the audience. So let's
Great.
say hello to Andres.
Hi,
Hello.
Andres. Andres have been with us in one
Yeah.
of the previous sessions talking
Mhm.
about contributing to open source projects. He's always with us here. Nice to see you, Andres.
That's great.
And then Samuel is also here. So hi, Samuel.
Well,
Hello, Samuel.
And
Hi.
then, oh, Andres has a comment. Cave-like in Portugal. If you are in a cave, you will only experience the world through the computer screen and miss a lot of meaningful connections that would impact.
exactly.
Yes, that's true. So I think so personal interactions, personal connections are very important. So
That's right.
Mary, let's tell us more about how to build a user community. If I would like to start, because in my
Sure.
region there is no user community, and
Yeah.
how should I do that?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I do have to say, I did not build the community from scratch. I mean, in terms of Chicago Java Users Group, first of all, the CJUG, right? We call it CJUG, has been like gone through a couple generations. I call it generations. But first, too, it was when Java first came out in 1995 or six, and then I think that was
Mhm.
back then maybe Java. It was the software before the Sun Microsystems, right? They started a few user group. I think also by sales team. I believe it was. So it was run by them, but then later, because the companies themselves, all the vendors have changes, then they left, and then some other people took over the group. But I think those people only did Java for a little bit or something, and so they didn't really last so long. Then finally, it was Freddie Gemay. You may folks probably know him. He's originally from Ecuador, and he lived in Chicago for a few years too before he moved to Seattle, where he's now. He works for Expedia. So he took over the group in 2013, and that's when then I also joined, like 2014, 15, started
Mhm.
going to user group. So I'd say, I don't claim saying that, okay, I built up this CJUG, but it was somebody, it took over and there went through a couple cycles. Anyway, so and then came time that Freddie had to move away, and then the group kind of grew into very good, kind of having very good membership too. Also, at that time it was 2013, I guess 2014, when Spring, the framework came out, so they were attracting a lot of attentions. So we were getting a lot of folks coming too, and so. We were getting a lot of people and doing different things, and every time we got at least like 60, 70 people show up, right? I mean, I guess maybe not as big as you in Brazil. I heard your group is even more amazing. Anyway, I'd say on average 670 is pretty good. And so that's when I also kind of step in more and more, because I really like user group, being able to interact with people, especially when I'm working in environment. Unfortunately, that wasn't very good. You get people who weren't exactly like cooperating for various reasons. So I remember I was getting a little kind of not very happy. But every time when I went to user group, everybody is so welcoming, and we're learning and having this very nice environment. So I really made me feel more energized, right? Because at work there might be something not as good, and then you go to user group, you're learning new things, getting to know people, talking. So that's when I started going more and more. And then the more I was going, then Freddie asked me to start helping. And at first I wasn't even sure, but I thought, I really like it, this user group thing. Just again, right? Otherwise, it's like what Andres was saying earlier, saying that you are in a cave, you really don't know you have all the connections. Anyway, so I'm so glad I have all the connections, and I really thought that, oh, that might be good. It's not just me doing participating. I want to be helping too. So that's when I started helping CJUG. And the more I helped, then it just became to where I am today. But I do have to kind of blame it on COVID, right? Unfortunately, where we're going really well until like COVID, like 2020. Unfortunately, because of that, we couldn't get together for a few years. At first, too, we were doing virtual. Then later, I think there are various reasons. Then people kind of the membership kind of drop off a bit too, and so that's where we are. But I do have to say too, interestingly, I was just kind of observing this whole changes. When I first started helping, it was 2015. So when I look at today, it's 2025. I cannot believe I've been helping CJUG for 10 years, and to see it kind of rising, then all of a sudden, like COVID, if I have to look at the
Mhm.
graph, then it drops off. But now too is interesting. We have grown, right, the membership to like, well, supposedly, like it says 3,300, and we're using meetup.com as the platform. But unfortunately, too, what happened was the price increase, and we're a nonprofit, so we don't have a lot of money in the bank. So they raised the price. So then we decided, okay, we're seeking for a new platform. So that's what we did. We found a new platform called Luma. By the way, it's very good, very cool. But then it will also mean, well, how do we migrate? So and we finally got it done. And then now, what I found out was whoever is obviously too, when we look at the group, we aren't getting the 3,000 people who transfer over. Part of it too is I think there are also people just don't do Java anymore or whatever reason. But then the people who stay and continue staying and they have been asking us, I think those are the kind of the essence of everything. They really care about the ecosystem. They
Mhm.
want to be connected. And it's actually even better because we find that when I just announced an event 2 days ago, I thought, well, how many people am I going to get? We actually got a pretty good response rate too from this group of people. So I think it's also probably showing, due to subject matter too, maybe for Java, right, that there've been changes over time, and also there are other things that are Well, I call it distracting, but AI, right, came out and took away a lot of attention. But the fact is, though, I think for Java, for example, to kind of stay relevant and attractive, we definitely have to do things a bit of a new way to kind of keep the interest going. And then, but the consistency it's also helping too, is what I feel.
Mhm.
So anyway, I know I talked for a long time, but it's just about building community. For me, I'm like taking over a previous community and trying to also maintain and kind of seeing the drop and then trying to see how I can regrow it as well. So that part, I think it's also the challenge too. But I think it's like anything. It's like evolution. It just happens, and we need to adapt to it. Is what I feel.
Mhm.
And Java being the platform that is so, Java platform being so robust, it's not going to go away. It's not like any other thing that might go away, but we can see it being still able to go forward. So it would be very interesting to see how we can reinvigorate the whole ecosystem, and also like post COVID as well. So yeah, that's the challenge
Mhm.
right now for us. So yeah.
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 Okay. And if I would like to help in a jug, how can I help? So I go to the organizers and ask them in what way can I contribute?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there are, for example, like in us right now, we do have maybe 3 or 4 people that are a bit more consistent, like doing work. So we invite our members to come forward and speak with any of us. And plus, now we're using a new platform, so we just tell people to subscribe to our calendar on Luma, and they can subscribe and just simply talk to us, right? And we also are present on Discord. We have a CJUG Discord server. I'm trying to think what else. We used to be more active on X or Twitter, but now it's less so. But we also advertise things on LinkedIn. We also have a couple groups too. So we are telling people, if you like, stay connected with us on these social media groups and then reach out to us. And I always answer people's email and messages as well. So if they would like to join, or they have certain topics they want us to talk about, or kind of format of things, it doesn't have to be meetup. It can be also a workshop, for example. We have had people ask us about that. So we're open to anybody that they can just reach out to us on any social media, just talk with us too. So that's how we do our thing. Yeah. So yeah.
Mhm.
That's great, Mary. And another question: you guys do meet in person in Chicago, right?
Yeah, we're meeting in person now. That's right. Yeah, that's correct. But
Yeah.
we also stream it too. We live stream. We
Mm,
continue after COVID. During COVID, we were doing virtual, but we continued this. And I also have a very nice helper, and he's been really big help to set
great.
up all the videos and live streaming as well. So yeah, we also
Good.
live stream. Yeah.
Do
So
kind of an hybrid session, right? So people
yeah,
that can join online and in person, and that's kind of related to my question to you, because for people that lives in bigger cities where
yeah,
they have an existing jug, it's easier for them to join an existing jug.
yeah,
Which what can you tell for someone that wants to participate or do something related to a jug, but this person lives away from bigger
mm,
cities where jug doesn't happen, or
that's
they
true.
live in the countryside where tech
Yeah,
is very limited? What
sure.
would be your advice?
Yeah, totally. Yes, yeah. We also have folks too who are not living right in the city, and that's where we run our meetups. Is it's downtown Chicago or within a mile, so people can walk from public transportation. But then the thing is, with a large metro area like Chicago, I'm sure too some of you are in big cities. Um, as I mentioned too, we also live stream the event. So then we published the live stream link to our event. We always try to remember, but we're doing better now. We used to forget to publish it right away, but that's another thing because we need to set up the stream and everything. So we try to like pre-publish it. So then we give people a chance to also be able to watch it. Virtually, so remotely, especially when they are too far away, or sometimes there could be may not be too far away, but there could be traffic and all kinds of issues and big cities, and they don't want to fight traffic. Especially these days, I think a lot of folks are working from home, so they don't want to have to commute into the city like that. So we let people know so then they have a choice to watch it online rather than being always there, be in person. But I like to say too, the best is to be in person. But if not, there's always the option of being able to watch it remotely. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a way of interact, even if you're not possible to be in person, right? At
Yeah,
least.
that's correct. Yeah. And then so for us, we live stream it and we do it, send it to YouTube, to our YouTube channel. So folks too can also look us up. If you look for Chicago Java Users Group, you can find our channel. Whenever we have event, we live stream. Most of the time we do, but we also got help if our main person can't be live streaming and some guests coming in, they may be streaming to theirs, but we afterwards we will always upload there. But otherwise too, if you go to our channel, you can always try find the live stream. Also, under that section, you can find all of the recording of the live stream. Anyway, so yeah, you can always access it that way and interact too. Like YouTube, there's a dialogue at the side, so that's where we interact. We try to interact with people too from there. So yeah.
Great. So maybe even for so Java, we could try to bring this approach of having some of the meetings from the jug being hybrid on that way. Of course, we will need
Yeah.
someone there that does that. I don't know if in
Yeah,
also Java Brazil you're doing that,
yes,
Tiago.
yes. Here we are already doing that. So here
Oh,
it's
good.
hybrid, so you can
Uh,
watch online or go in person. And I totally agree with Mary. Yeah, if you can go in person,
Yeah,
it's much better because you can connect more with people,
yeah,
and yeah, you can connect with people. I think this is the big difference because when you are only watching, you're watching like here you are watching us. You can talk with us, but in this kind of events, there will be a lot of people that you can connect and not only the
that's
speakers.
yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
There is also a comment from Andres here.
Andre-
If
Yeah,
the biggest jug, is it true that the Brazil jug is the biggest of the world?
Yeah,
Yes, I think
I
yes.
think
It's
so.
Yeah.
this,
yeah.
so Java is the
Yeah,
biggest jug.
Yes, it would be a very interesting thing to compare jugs.
yeah,
How jugs in Brazil? How are jugs in the US or Canada or
yeah,
in Europe? I think
yeah.
there are a
Yeah.
lot of differences how they organize themselves and
Yeah.
how
Totally.
whether it is going to be a hybrid. I think it's a good way to have it a hybrid way. But for example, here in Europe, in Switzerland, we usually have the events in person. So you
Oh,
go to the event,
Yeah.
and then the groups are probably not that big, so smaller groups that come together, but it's more on a personal level that you can
Oh,
connect to the speaker, to the other ones, and that's maybe one difference comparing to other jugs, I
Yeah,
guess.
but
Yes.
yeah, it's like you said. I think it's changed a lot between jugs and jugs. I think in Lisbon it's the same. It's only in person. So yeah, it depends on the jug.
That's
Mhm.
kind of interesting thing because that it's a key aspect of the European culture of having that in person because everything is smaller and it's easier to reach from one place to another. The countries are smaller and have a good public transportation. You can reach much easier if compared to Brazil. I do know that in the US you do have huge distances as well between cities. For me, for example, to join Soul Java meeting in Sao Paulo, I have to travel around 2 hours and a half in a car just to get
Oh,
there. So it's
wow.
a huge
Oh,
distance.
That's big. Yeah.
So that's how they
Yeah.
differentiate, and I believe that in US they're looking more for these hybrid sessions because the
Yeah.
distance are far too, right?
Yes. Totally. Totally. Yeah,
A-
that's correct.
And
Yeah.
even related to that subject, there's a comment from Andres here. When he moved to Peru, he
Mm.
didn't get a local job, so Jug was one of the
Oh,
ways to interact with other tech professionals. As one of the reasons I joined it, I should find a way to be more involved.
mm.
Yeah,
Eh, eh,
you are.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, taking this comment from Andres, I think maybe Mary, you can share here with us some advice, like how can I get more involved? Because you talk about we can send messages, but sometimes it's a little bit scared, like oh, I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
send a message to Mary. She's has a lot of things to do. I not do
Yeah.
that, or
Yeah.
what I'm going to say. I
Yeah.
think it's better not do that. So how can I get involved in a community, and how can I
Yeah.
grow and help more in a jug or in any kind of community?
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I think you're right, Tiago. Sometimes I wouldn't even think of it because I tend to, if I need some answer, I just go and talk to the person. But you're right. Not, I guess, especially for programmers, well, I used to be more shy too. So I think a lot of people tend to be, like, not so comfortable talking with people, and
mm,
that's a very good point, right? So I think definitely too. Let's say, right, the initial thing, maybe at least if people aren't that comfortable in the beginning, right, you can still go through an email, send an email to the person, some context, right? For example, like CJOG 2, we have a couple of group emails. So we invite people to every meetup. We would always remind people this is our email address if you have questions and all these things. So if people really feel not comfortable in the first time, just send us an email and introduce yourself and saying that I like to help or something. And then, but that is very true. I like to encourage, right, that whoever is on the staff to helping, just remember to respond back. And I always make sure I respond back. So I like to remind people it's also responsibilities of the organizers to respond back and make people feel comfortable too, and inviting them, maybe have a conversation, whatever makes it easier nowadays. With easy enough, you can do Google Meet online, and using a Zoom call or something, talk with people, and just reach out, right, to the person, and to make them feel comfortable and answer their questions, and things like that. And also, in terms of help too, it is very true. There can be many things, and very often, if we are organizing events, and it also depends on the group already how the dynamics work out, but it all depends. I think maybe also it means whoever is in the leadership probably needs to do a good job too in terms of, again, making people feel comfortable, maybe identifying a couple of tasks that people can do and then ask them. Sometimes too people want to contribute. Let's say I'm more of a coder, and for example we also have some simple, not that complicated, I should say, like intro slide deck, right, before each event. And maybe the person is interested in doing, you can introduce, oh, maybe you can help us update the slide deck and before every meeting, for example, things like that. Or sometimes too, if people have suggestions of a couple of talk titles or some kind of interesting topics that we should talk about, encourage these people to give us all kinds of input too. Not to say we can meet everybody's requirements. So people might say, I want you to talk about cloud, or some people want to say talk about AI. May not be able to, right? We may not be able to find the right person to, but we can try to, right? And then also we also invite people to submit their proposals if they want to talk, present a topic, things like that. So those are kind of things I think people can step in to help without really devoting a whole lot of time if they don't have time. But if they have more time, of course, we like them to join and participate and give more input and see how we can work together more as a team. So again, it all depends on the group, the dynamics, the personality, right, on the team. I can't say the same for all teams, but sometimes you could have a group of very chatty people who like to talk and socialize. Then maybe it's different than group of people who likes to do their own work and not talking. So just have to adapt it accordingly, and then invite people to give ideas, to suggestions. Those are contributions too. And then of course on the day of the event and meetup, you can have people helping out with the food or talking to other people and all that stuff too. So yeah, there can be many ways to people can step in to help, and I think those in leadership can also invite these people who are new, who may be a little bit less comfortable, to make them feel comfortable, welcome. Then they will start to talk with you, right? To let you know how they feel, what they want to do. So those are kind of just my suggestions, yeah, for it. So yeah.
That's great, Mary.
Yeah.
That's great. Also, Luis mentioned us here. Luis is one of the organizers of the Soul Java. He mentioned us that they are also streaming the monthly meetups for Soul Java. They're having around 100 attendees in person,
Wow.
plus some hundreds
Very
more
cool.
online. That's
Definitely.
amazing. Of course, like I mentioned, I will try to join on these meetups online because it's not possible to be monthly there in person, but it's a way of connect. But like we've mentioning about communities here, and I truly believe that having this connection between people is essential, because overall we deal with technology, but we are humans, we are not technology itself.
Sure.
And when the technology takes place, we don't need these lives anymore. There will be only agents doing the work, right, Pedro? Yeah. Pedro is our agent guy here. He's on his human this phrase here. It's a cover.
It's my avatar here.
Yeah, your avatar. Thanks. Mary, my question for you about communities would be join a community. How can this help someone, an engineer, an architect, whatever they do, on their own career? I've mentioned the benefit of having this human touch. We do have talks that it's an exchange of information. What can you tell us about how this helps you grow your career?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I think one thing for sure, right? The technology in today's world is changing so fast. Whether it be Java I mean, Java may be like less of dramatic changes these days, but still, constantly there are specs that are upgrading. People working on it. There will be, and we have the 6 months release cadence too. So we want to be keeping it on top of things. Now, the thing is too, very often what we found out is that, unfortunately, right, a lot of companies tend to be still behind the times, so to speak. Although it's for good reason, because companies too, they have their different kinds of work focus. I could be I don't know, like a bank, right? I can be a hospital doing things. So their concern is to solve their business problems and happen to be using a language, a platform like Java to solve their problems. So in some ways too, their main concern is not immediately about, okay, we want to upgrade every Java when it comes out. It's more about solving the problems and using Java as a tool. Anyway, so why I'm bringing up is that as a result of this, then we are also finding out that a lot of businesses or organizations are not quite up to date with the latest version, which tends to be usually better, right? The newer versions, more efficient and use of memory, for example, or now we have virtual threads and all these, most recent kind of innovation, right? That's more formal release. So all those things, right, that are happening, but let's say, right, junior person come into, I'm working at a new place, I'm still using Java 8, for example, right? That actually I've heard of. There are still companies using Java 8 in their runtime, in their production, all that stuff. But yet at the same time, we already have traveled so far ahead. And so those are the kind of things, right? Like if you keep working in the same environment, you may not know unless you go and read about something or you talk to someone. You may not know right away, oh, there are new things that are, already Java 25, 26 coming up, right? And, or 2025. Yeah, sorry, 25 this year. So those are the kind of things, right? That's why you come together as a community. There are people coming in and sharing about what's the latest. Not to say you have to adopt it right away, but at least you are aware, okay, well, maybe my company cannot change to 25 coming out soon. Right away, I could be at least from 8, I can go to 17, right? Rather than working with older versions. It's just an example of this kind of benefits. When you're interacting with other people, then you learn about what's out there, what's available. Then you make a decision to say, well, is it time for us to also upgrade and take advantage? Because otherwise, in the older version, it doesn't have certain features, and then I'll have to write some of these code by myself or things like that, right? And also now there's Spring too. A lot of companies in the Java environment using Spring, same thing, right? People could be talking about what's the latest features that I can take advantage of, or all that kind of stuff, right? And not only that, sometimes not to do with the libraries or things like that, but it could also simply be you listening to other people's idea. They are implementing something, how they do their thing, how do they architect stuff, and what's the process. Any kind of topics that related to software development, execution, implementation, architecture, you can be sharing with everybody rather than just doing things the same way and maintaining your own narrow vision of what things should be. You'll actually be enriched by listening to what other people are doing and blending in new ideas into your own. So that's always good too. And it is true, you may be listening to things that you don't care. That's fine, or not like don't care, maybe not directly related. But in my opinion, you never know, because again, there are so many things now. Everything is changing so rapidly. It's always good to listen to what's out there. So then, your vision broadens too, and your horizon broadens, and it helps you to solve problems. And to me, sometimes it's weird to how ideas can come about. It's because maybe you're trying to solve some problem, so you keep thinking of solving it the same way. But maybe you hear about other people talking about their problems, and then you kind of start to think, oh, maybe I can use something, borrow some idea from there. Like, we often heard of too, some ideas came out because they usually get inspired by something else. So those are the reason why you want to go to a user group. And not only that, we're human beings, like Igor was saying, we're not machines, there are AI agents, but we are not the robots, right? We are the human. And so it just brings that humanness in us to talk about things, right? That's kind of not just like robots and AI. And after all, don't ever let AI control our lives. And that's another thing too. We're still in the center of, we should be making decision. We should be the one to judge, to see what is right and wrong, because you cannot let machines to decide on what is good and what is bad, that kind of stuff. So anyway, again, a long kind of answer to your question. I hope that helps. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So being in a community, in a nutshell, helps you open your vision to
Yes.
broader ideas, to share experience and something that you're looking for. Maybe if you're just only in your own world, you don't
Mhm.
envision it, you don't realize that it is even exists. It's
That's right.
like watching this live, for anyone that doesn't
Mhm.
know about the power of communities. They are
Mhm.
learning about that, they are realizing that
Right.
something that like this exists. I've learned about this
Mhm.
not much time ago, I would say two
Yeah.
years at maximum. Then I thought, wow, that's amazing, that
Mhm.
really exists. People join
That's right.
together to talk about that. and
That's
and
right.
then I'm here with all these fantastic guys hosting you today. So that's the power of communities. And I've
That's
even written a book with my friend Tiago here
yeah.
about
Yeah.
microservice. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's
That
great. Yeah.
Uh,
Totally.
uh, I have a question. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
Changing a point of view here, yeah, mostly like a point of view of the ones that enter the community, but in a point of view of the one that are building the community. For example,
Mhm.
you were saying about like, oh, the number of participants is good, that
Mhm.
had grown in the COVID, and then it's get down. So
Yeah.
how is this work? How we grow a community in terms?
Yeah. Sure. How do we grow? I think well, for one thing, I think if we maintain some consistencies, it's always good, right? It's just think of it is true, right? We're doing it a service, right? Free, so to speak, not monetary type of service to people. But we should still, if we decide to take on some responsibility to do this free service, we should still commit to it. Not to say, okay, you still don't want to take it as the first thing, because let's say we're paid by our jobs and we need to take care of the job first, don't get me wrong, so let's do that first. But then in our spare time, we always want to make time to help the community, because that's what we have committed to. So another thing too is that to do that, you want to have a consistent pattern. So it's not like, okay, I'm tired, I don't want to do things this month, right? Like that, you skip a month and all of a sudden run something like that. It's okay, nobody's saying that you can't, but try to be as consistent as possible, so then folks can also then kind of be adapt to your the cadence too. I think that will help, because otherwise too, if you often not do something, then people start to forget about you, and how can you grow, right? So you want to have more of a consistent pattern. And right now, for example, Chicago Jug, we are having once a month event, or we aim at having at least once. Occasionally we don't, because of various reason, maybe the speaker drop out, we can't find somebody, but that's okay, we have exception. But otherwise, to have this kind of consistency in your event kind of cadence, so to speak, that would be one thing. And then another thing, of course, will be more, if you can invite people to maybe not just event is done and you're gone like that. For example, we have our Discord server. So on our Discord, that's where we encourage members to also sign up and to ask everybody's questions if they have questions, right? So the goal is to be able to connect people together, use that platform to continue their conversations even after meetup too. So in that case too, you are also inviting them to invite other people as well and spread the word, and people having conversations, you can communicate with that. So I think that will help too in terms of growing. And of course, if we have more bandwidth, we can actually do more things too. Right now, we can only afford time to do once a month having the meetup, but would be nice, right, if we can do, let's say, once in a while, doing a hackathon, doing a workshop, some kind of events like that. I think that would be nice. But again, it all depend on your capacity, if you have time to also handle that. But otherwise, having those kind of additional events, that would be nice. And there can be, it doesn't have to be necessarily always like a lecture or serious stuff. You can have like a holiday party or something, inviting people, mingle, right? So we also, another thing we're doing also is that we partner with other user community in Chicago. For example, now we have the Chicago Kotlin group, and also with the Google GDG, right? Google Developer Group, right? We have a Chicago chapter, so we also like partner with them to do things. So in that case, you're bringing different party. Groups of people together and then mingle too. I think that also can help too. So that helps a lot too with, having people, bring people together of different communities as well and talking together. That can always help too. So yeah, those are just some of the example. And then for me, I also have the AI group. Yeah, I know Scylla kind of brought up because I talk about it too. This is called the AI Collective. And so the thing is too, we also have tried to do some work together, me being in both community. So the AI Collective is primarily AI, but then they're also not just technology, it expands into the business, the founders, companies seeking for investors, and we have investors get kind of pitches as well. So you can also kind of consider, right, if you have partner with organizations like that. And now with AI, it's applicable for everything too. So it's also, I like to say, not just with coding. Coding is only one aspect to enable certain functionality, but you can actually mingle the communities together. Maybe we can also understand the type of applications that product people are thinking. How can we implement it? Things like that. I think that will give us a lot of ideas too. So because as such, I find that if while we tend to be thinking of programming language as implementing, executing, delivering the service, but we can also be the ones to strategize to see what kind of product is possible with this platform too, for example, things like that. So in other words, just kind of be more creative and kind of bring to life the possibilities of this platform that we can actually use to build more useful things too. Is what I think. So yeah.
But this
And
is.
in the oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Pedro.
I just ask if in this your group, you do the same, like in person meetings, meetups, social media. Is it so you use exactly the same strategy?
Oh, okay. For the AI Collective, so for that one, it's slightly different because we have a slightly different operating model, so to speak. The company, well, I shouldn't say company, they're a nonprofit organization, and they started off actually a bit more business focused. So it's really about business trying to use AI in their stuff. So it affects all the chapters. So we have all kinds of people there, marketing people, for example, product people, like even non-tech people. So in fact, we have regular meetup, but we also have what we call like pitches, right? Have founders that pitch their ideas. And so we also have investors that come here. Investors can be listening to what kind of pitches, is it a product they like to invest in? So we have those kind of events too. And there are also what you call workshop, hackathon, and we also partner with some companies too that they like us to be using and showcasing their technology, their tooling, their products. So we have all kinds actually, and there are also even like investors like dinner we're considering too. And I'm actually, my co-organizers there, they are more lawyers. They come from, a couple of them are lawyers too, so they have different kind of focus, right? They're trying to solve their problems. How do they deal with all their cases, right? In legal cases and papers. So we're talking about using RAG, right, to kind of like solve their problems of sorting through all the data. I'm sure, Pedro, it looks like you are familiar with agents, and we're trying to see if we can use RAG to sort through all of their legal papers and things like that. So it's interesting too. It gives me idea, right? Working with people who are in other aspects and they're bringing their problems to the table, and so we're trying to solve problems like that as well. So yeah. So yeah.
That's really interesting because this opens a lot for everyone, even for engineers and even lawyers, like you mentioned. And
Yeah.
if there are companies and they would like to see you using their technology and you have pitched an investor, if presents something that is
Yeah.
interesting, You can
Yeah.
start a company from a user group because
Oh,
you got
yeah.
an investor, you use a technology, you put
Yeah.
it all together, they like what they see. What
Yeah.
about creating a company? That's
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
here's a huge benefit of joining this type of communities.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it
Blows the
open?
opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, if you are interested too, I think if in Brazil, if you want to start chapters, I'm
Yeah.
actually now the regional director for North America East. So all of East Coast and also Canadian East too. So anyway, I'm helping to build chapters, and we have somebody in Mexico, and also he takes care of in South America. But I think he needs help too. So if you are interested to start chapters all over Brazil, I can help you guys out. So yeah, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
would
yeah,
be
You
interesting.
can send the link. You can send the link to us here, so we
yeah.
can send it to the
Yeah.
chat.
That would be great. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I didn't even think of it. Yeah, but let me send you the link. Yeah, so it's called AI Collective. This is the name of the group. So yeah, and we have like 80,000 subscribers right now around the world, and so it's only 2 years old, right? And but in terms of global expansion, we started doing this in July, so we're already growing. Yeah, many chapters now, but we want to grow into South America as well. So yeah, yeah, let's do that. So
Uh,
maybe we can also bring more like Java to use Java to implement some of these things that people product wants to. So I think it's
amazing.
possible. Yeah.
Do you have
Uh,
chapters in Toronto, Mary?
Yes. In fact, Toronto, we have
Yes.
many.
So that's
Greater
for
Toronto.
Pedro. He is in Toronto.
Oh, okay, Peter. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, I'll introduce you if you want to start a chapter too.
that's
We
awesome.
have at least like 10 or 12 chapters. They are there in the different towns too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's wonderful.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I
Mhm.
should connect.
Amazing. Let's
Yeah,
just go quickly through the comments here. We
sure.
have the Comunidade Brasil Jugs. We're a Java
Yeah.
community with a goal of sharing knowledge and exchange experience among developers of this technology.
Oh, great.
Hey, it's great to see you guys here. Pedro Carrillo also joined us some
Oh,
sessions ago talking about
great.
growing beyond senior and the software architecture. Good to
Great.
see you, Pedro. Andres mentioned the Dev Converge when you were mentioning about doing things together with the Google
Mhm.
developers group. I would even mention that we need to do a jQuery version of
Oh,
Soul Java here. But
oh,
everyone in the
yeah.
beach, like I am here in my background, I would be like to be. That's a
I
fake
would love.
background. And Andres is also interested in
In Peru.
getting the AI collective to Peru.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's
So
yeah, I'll send you the link, yeah, and connect with me. I'll connect you with the right person. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I would
Yeah.
agree with Luis. It's definitely a great opportunity.
Yeah. Totally, totally. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
And a question about that. So, how do you how what do you do to make people know about your community? Like,
Oh.
so how can uh, uh, what do you do to spread this word?
Oh, that's right. Well, it's true. I only have certain, number of hours to do everything, but I try, right? Say there are occasions in which I'm doing presentation. I always tell people I'm also involved with AI Collective. So that's one thing, right? And then, of course, too, people also know I help with Java community. I've been longer time with that. I think definitely through all my social engagement, I would tell people. And also, I don't know, sometimes on social posting, I do have to admit, I just don't have enough time sometimes doing social posting. But those are also good places where I can tell people, okay, click on this and learn more about our organization or reach out and then I'll talk with you. In fact, I get to be quite busy now because every day I got people connecting with me. Oh, can you tell me more? And then I'll connect people with the organization. But that's part of the job and part of what I'm supposed to be doing too, to spread the word. So but I think, yeah, those are the kind of ways I'm doing, and also tell people to spread the word for me too. So this will kind of, spread it out. So yeah, yep,
So it's completely organic.
Yeah, that's
Just
well, that
using your audience and
that's right. Yeah, that is very, very true. Yeah, very, very true.
Especially with the AI subject, 'cause it's kind
Oh
of a
yeah.
hot topic and
Oh
is a
yeah.
break changer
Yeah,
in the
that's right.
technology field.
That's
Or
right. Yeah.
I've mentioned that every session here. Or you adapt and use it
Yeah.
at your favor, or you will be soon out of market.
Oh yeah.
So
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
everyone's searching that kind of knowledge.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So
Let's
yeah.
back to the chapters. Are there any chapters also in Europe? You know,
Oh
Mayor?
yeah. For AI Collective?
Or
Yes,
AI
yes.
Collective? Yes, back to the topic of,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. For the AI
Mhm.
Collective, yes, yes. In
Yes.
fact, we have a regional director in Poland, and he's been helping to build. And when I go to Poland, to not Poland, but going to Europe too, I also try to spread the word. And so, yeah, right now, in fact, at J Creek too, we have Alexias who is interested in starting chapters in Greece too.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we have that, and
Mhm.
so they have already started in Switzerland, in Sweden, and yeah, and trying to think to where else, and France and London, and yeah, yeah, I think in Spain too, maybe they were talking about it too, and Portugal as well. So yeah, definitely there are already kind of
Mhm.
movements, right, in Europe as well, and
Oh,
also like over in Asia as well, so, and Africa too. So yeah, so really I think it is spreading everywhere except Antarctica. I think, yeah, then everywhere. Yeah, all the continents are having some growth everywhere. So yeah,
Guys, if you're watching us from Antarctica, it's your opportunity to spread the word to
that's right.
penguins to
Yes,
learn AI.
exactly. That's right. Yes, yeah, that is very true. Yeah,
Andres tell us we have to create jugas, jug de América del Sur, or
just
América do Sul. And
you
jugas means you play in Rio
yeah,
Platense Spanish. Rio Platense, where is from Rio Platense, Andres? I
yeah.
believe it's from Uruguay, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, very interesting. Yeah,
There
yeah.
are very different nuances, very different cultures between
Ah,
between the countries. I would say in
oh,
South America, and Brazil is the only one that speaks Portuguese in South America. All
oh
the other
yeah.
countries speak Spanish,
Spanish.
and
Yeah.
even between them they have differences. So, like he
Oh,
mentioned here, the Rio Platense probably is a nuance from his his region, Rio de la Plata,
de
like
la
he mentioned here.
okay. Hmm. Yeah, and that's in Peru? No, that's
And that's a good question.
yeah.
well, he's
Rio de la
also
Plata,
saying
Buenos Aires.
Buenos
Oh, Buenos
Aires.
It's
Aires.
on the border between Argentina and Uruguay.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Oh,
very interesting. Yeah.
Buenos Aires and Montevideo, he says. Okay,
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I imagine too your food, right? Also have some similarities but also differences, right, among different countries. But yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah.
That's the joy of traveling. I believe that is also one of the benefits of communities, right?
That's
Since
true.
I was mentioning of living far away from the jug,
Hmm.
living in the countryside. But when you travel, of course, you're not allowed or not able to travel all the time. But when
Hmm.
you do, you connect with people from different places, different
Oh yeah,
cultures. If you travel through different countries
sure,
and meet different jugs,
sure.
you kind of do this exchange, and
Oh yeah,
you also have this common subject that in the
yeah,
case would be
yeah.
Java, a development thing.
That's right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, like you said, yeah, food is also very important too. So yeah, yeah, I think it's yeah, Yeah, just like anything. Yeah, the more,
Absolutely.
yeah, and I love the blending of different ideas and food, blending of different things. That's why we come up with some very delicious dishes, new ideas, and yeah, and I like that too. So yeah,
That's
very cool.
great. Mary, since you manage a jug that's kind of more Java related
Hmm.
and also one that is more AI related,
Yeah.
how do you see the
Mm.
Java development from now to
Mm-hmm.
the next years with the rise of AI, on your
Oh
point
yeah.
of view, with the rise of agents, with AI
Sure.
kind of,
Yeah.
I would
Mm-hmm.
say, taking you out the writing
Mm-hmm.
thing, being
Mm-hmm.
the coder and more needing to focus on
Mm-hmm.
architecting, on defining. How do
Mm-hmm.
you see that? Because I see that the coder age, that person that only codes, that expects something to be defined for him to code, that role is death, because AI will code much better than a human, at least on most of the times. How do you
Mm-hmm.
see that being having a jug on AI and also on Java? How do you see the future of Java
Sure.
on that?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, I think, and even something I've been thinking about, and now having in both places, I suppose. I feel right. First of all, Java is fully capable, I think, to do certain types of AI. You know, kind of AI application or assisted type of applications. And one thing is actually with agents too. And that's something I'm experimenting more, exploring with. And I'd like to first of all say that right now, right, as we all hear, AI is everywhere. But when you kind of think about it, it's more hype than it is with being able to do some things, or people are still talking, right, a lot of meetings, and no doubt too we need to also worry about the AI security, the policy, the responsible AI, all of these things too, which means that it is capable of doing all this stuff. But how do you know, right? And agents, is it allowed to execute certain programs, access certain data? There are things that we need to still build. Those things are not even talked about. How do we deal with security? And that's why too, I think we're seeing a lot of banks, especially financial institutions, are just hesitating of using AI because it's like an open door right now. You can do anything. And we also have heard AI uh, doing his own thing, extracting data or putting in faked data. Those things are actually more scary, and it's not capable of making moral judgment either. All these things, right? So anyway, now you ask about all of these, how can Java help? And so to me, I'm experimenting. And also too, right now, the way all of these agents, people are like, oh, agents going to take over our job. No way. It's not going to happen. I'm sure, Pedro, I mean, what it is good at, the way I look at it, LLM at the current state, is very good if you just ask it to do one thing. And you have to write your prompt exactly the way it is, right? And then it will generate you the right thing. Yeah, no doubt about it. But the thing is, in reality, we live in a very complicated world, and there are already people talking about, oh, I can use the agent to book my whole flight reservation, and that's a joke, no joke too. And we know that right now, right, when we're working for companies that are enterprise level that deals with and flight reservation system, and that will involve not just your flights. You need to look up all the flights that are available, and then also look into your personal calendar to figure out what day can you fly and how do you make connections. Those are extremely complicated scenarios that touches on different subsystems, and we can be writing, yes, agents to handle each part, but then you now need somebody to orchestrate the whole thing. And not only that, you need to eventually say, I'm booking a flight, then I have to um, make a purchase, right? I want to buy the air tickets, and then it goes to payment system. Payment systems is another very delicate situation that you cannot make any mistakes, because you cannot kind of get into people's money incorrectly, right? Charging people. So all these things, right? It's not ready yet. We cannot have one single agent that takes care of end to end booking a flight. So that's where I think Java can also come in. We know that Java can handle some of these enterprise level heavy duty stuff, concurrency, also with data consistency. Now, I just did a talk on event streaming because that's what I'm experimenting with. I'm looking at it. We have a streaming platform like Kafka to do things, and there are lots of the communication between agents, and we're talking about data flowing from one system to another. So it gets into the data engineering, dealing with CAP theorem, right? Consistency, availability, network partitions, all of these things. We need to worry about that. And that's the kind of things I don't think agents code can be generated easily to do concurrency, to do threading. I don't think so. I've been trying to look at, maybe you tell it to generate some threading. If you know exactly what it is, it will generate well for you. But it's not like it knows right away what to do. It still needs to figure out, this is what I need to do, and then I go do it. Those kind of things, right? So I think rather than saying that Java can handle everything end to end, maybe we're going to use a combination of different technologies. Some are Java heavy, especially with Kafka, for example, that do things. And then maybe it interact with the front end. It's still using React to do stuff. But we essentially have to put everything together, can be using an agent to automate some of these steps. So in other words, I think it will take years before we can fully trust it to be able to do things end to end and take care of our payment correctly too. So I think that's why I don't feel, it will take our jobs away. Far from the case. And not only that, we need agents to be there to help us to have the extra pair of eyes to look at what the code is generated is correct and doing all the testing is correct. We still need to be the judge to say, we give the final stamp to say this is correct, right? So there's just no way. But the thing is, though, to say we can leverage on AI to help us do some of this heavy lifting rather than us doing it, sort through the boring code to look for a needle, in that lines of code or something. That's what we can use it for, but not for everything. We cannot be lazy, is what I feel. But we can leverage on it to do some of the difficult, boring tasks and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm thinking. And I think there's still work to be done to be able to get to the point of making easy integration between Java, between AI, things like that. And for example, I'm looking into streaming. How can we do a synchronous thing to also make sure data is consistent across different distributed planes and things like that? So yeah, that's what I think the next step. And also security. When I mentioned about responsible AI security, absolutely important. We cannot ignore that. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mary. I do see that as a very helpful tool to help us grow. Even just mention about security, comment from Luis tells that AI security. Recently, I came across OWASP top 10 risk and mitigations for LLM and Gen AI apps. Yeah, that's something that we need to concern. I believe we have talked about that in another session, or on one of the posts on LinkedIn. I believe it was on Layan, that I've commented that ultimately the code is yours. You can use AI to help you generate, to help you with a solution, but the code is it's your author. You need to review it. You need to check if it is compliant and it's secure. So you need to understand what is being generated.
Totally.
And test it. It helps. Maybe it's even bringing features that you don't know how to use or working on language that's new to you, and that's amazing. It's a great tool, but you need to test. You need to try to understand that ultimately the commit is yours, and if something goes wrong, it's your fault, not AI fault. So that's why I truly agree with you that you cannot delegate 100%, at least at this moment. But some companies, some managers, because of the hype, they truly believe that AI is the replacement. They don't need these nerdy guys expanding their money anymore. So how do you see that movement in the US? I've seen that very strong some months ago, and I believe that companies are starting to open their eyes that
Oh
they
yeah.
will not be able to fire every developer because they will go
Oh
to
yeah.
ruin. How do you see that movement as well, Mary, on your
Exactly.
side?
I think, the truth will always win, right? So we know what the truth is. We know that in reality, that's just like what we were talking about, Igor, you pointed out too. We still need to make sure things are right. So they might say in short term, they might say we need to cut costs and cut people, but then very soon they realize, okay, they're gonna start doing vibe coding, right? Go ahead and vibe coding. Nothing will work, and guess what? They'll come back to us, who knows stuff, and say, please, although they're not gonna beg us, so to speak, but it's more like, well, we really need you back because we are the expert. We know how details, how things work, right? So I feel, if we stay true to what we know it is the truth, we won't be, kind of affected. It might be in short term, yeah, maybe losing jobs or something, but I think ultimately they know what is the truth. We need to live by the truth. Otherwise, vibe coding, forget it. It's for like play box, not for doing serious stuff. So that's what I think. Yeah. So yeah,
I totally agree. I tried some things with vibe coding.
yeah,
Smaller things are very
yeah.
helpful,
All is fine. Yeah.
but try to create a complete whole system.
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't
No.
know. Pedro is the expert here. Maybe he has more techniques to make
Yep.
that move forward. But for the
That's right.
common, let's say a manager, I've even saw a joke for a channel that they made a joke. They got it's kind of the role of the CEO
Yeah.
and talking to a developer, and he
Uh-huh.
says to the developer, man, I could not sleep. I've been playing with until late with AI. I was feeling myself as a developer. We need to leverage AI and this will do everything. No, man. No, no,
No.
no, no.
No.
Hold on, hold on. And my biggest fear is after playing
Yeah.
months with the vibing coding stuff, seeing what works and what doesn't, it's
Yeah.
when they get us back, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
Mary, they
Yeah.
don't want us to do a new system from scratch. They will say, I've
Mhm.
done this amazing
Yeah.
vibe coding here with all this boilerplate code that doesn't
Yeah.
work. Make
Yeah.
it work.
I
It's
Yeah.
it's like going
Well,
back on the monolith
I
era.
know.
You
That's
have
right.
all that huge code that it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that could happen. Yes, yeah. Yeah, kind of unfortunate, but the good news is we will never lose our job, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, because we know the stuff, right? So, yeah, we know how things work. Yeah. So,
If,
yeah, that's
even
important.
if the Nvidia guy says that we
Oh,
will, I believe that will take more time.
oh, yeah, totally.
Hopefully.
Totally. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Or at least if AI becomes fully automated, I think it will be beyond our lifetime, right? So, yeah, let's say we live
I
average like 80 years, right, or something. Yeah, so,
maybe.
And it will be not probably only programmers. It will affect a lot of people, a lot of
oh, yeah,
jobs.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There will be. There will always be. Yeah, yeah. I think it's like even like 20 what well 1990s when internet first came out, people were also getting scared too. Like but it's look at then we have new kinds of job positions coming out to do things that yeah. So that's just the nature of human beings, right? We cannot just say there are no jobs, but it's just the nature of our being. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Andres
yeah.
left us some comments related to this subject here, and this one I totally agree. Management expecting to have features
Oh,
implemented in insane timelines.
yeah,
That is already happening, Andres. I've
yeah,
seen some places that they are putting crazy things, so
crazy. Wow,
that's a joke.
that's
And what we have here, and the leaks of secrets and
oh
API
yeah,
key that will cost more than the dev salary. Of course,
oh
vibe
yes,
coding.
yep,
We are seeing cases like that happening.
yeah,
And also on what we have
oh
seen,
yeah,
we have talked here. You need to be on the driver's seat for sure.
oh
I'm
yeah,
vibing coding presentations. That's
mhm,
helpful, but it will
yep,
not expose any
oh
sensitive
yeah,
data. and a non-developer will only blind code, not vibe code. We
I
have
know.
talked
Yeah.
a lot here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but yeah, totally. Yeah. So
Any questions more, guys?
Any last questions?
For your audience, you want to ask something to Mary or to any of us, it's your opportunity now.
No questions. Actually, I only want to thanks everyone here that are watching, and also Mary to be here and talk
thank
with with us this amazing subject. I think this is very important for anyone, the junior developers, and also the people that are in the market for many years. Being in a community, it's very important. So thanks.
totally, totally.
Thank you very much for joining
Absolutely.
us today,
Thank you.
Mary. It was
Thank you.
amazing talking about the importance of communities. This is a community as well, being together
Yep.
with you here, with
Thank
our audience, and also about this AI trend that it's almost impossible to not mention that somehow. And thanks for bringing all your expertise on all of these subjects here with us.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much again for having me. Thank you. Yeah, and I think Scylla, you're staying up very late, so thank you for staying up late too. So thank
Yes,
you.
it was my pleasure to have you
Yeah.
here, Mary, because
Thank
it
you.
was really a very amazing
Yeah.
conversation,
Thank
and
you.
you learn a lot about communities if
Yeah.
people are talking to you. So it was amazing.
Thank you.
So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah, I
very
want to
much.
thank you so much, thank you so much, Mary, to join us here today. I sent here in the chat the link for your aicollective.com.
Thank you. Yes.
All right.
Please
So
do.
everybody, if you want to check, I just checked that is good, interesting stuff here in my surroundings. So
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
checking that more deeply now.
Yeah. Please do. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I invite everybody to stay connected. Follow me on LinkedIn or let me know or send me a message anytime if you have any questions. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you
Just
all
do it.
again. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye
Amazing.
bye.
Take care, guys. Thank you, Mary. See
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you,
See you.
everybody.
See you next session.